Members only, Jack. Members only,
Hi, welcome to Salem GASworks, a guild of artistic sorts. We are the multimedia arts and entertainment network of the North Shore. I'm Sara Maurno, and this is my husband, Dan.
As I always say, if you're flipping the dials, don't pass gas, stay a while. Today's going to be just a great show. We're going to welcome singer, songwriter, and Broadway veteran Jere Shea. Now, just how good is Jere? He originated the lead role in the 1994 Stephen Sondheim musical Passion, for which he was nominated, Tony nominated for Best Actor in a Musical.
That's right.
Okay. And if that's not Broadway credibility enough, he was immortalized by cartoonist Hirschfeld. You've seen those. And Hirschfeld didn't do that for just anybody.
Wow.
And we were going to have another guest today, right?
Yes, we did. We were going to have Henry Allen join us, come and hang out with us today, but unfortunately he was not able to make it, feeling a little under the weather. So Henry, we hope you're feeling better. But we definitely want to give a shout out for some of the work that Henry's doing in Gloucester this month. He's working with a fantastic group of kids in conservatory in Gloucester, and their new show is back for its third year in a row by popular demand. Greasy Pole the Musical is returning, and it will be playing for 2 weeks, from June 27th to July 7th. If you want to find out more about Greasy Pole the Musical, visit greasypolethemusical.com. You can get ticket information there. And also I want to mention a project that is very dear to Henry's heart, and it is called the Brain Candy Foundation. That was actually my introduction to Henry. It is a North Shore-based charitable foundation. It provides support systems to parents with children in hospitals that are critically ill. So if you would like to support that foundation, I strongly encourage you to visit thebraincandyproject.org.
Okay. And finally, we're going to do a big GASworks welcome to a new business in town, the Five Hands Curiosity Shop, which just opened on 2 North Street in Salem. Now, Sara and I dropped in on this shop when they were setting up just a few weeks ago, and it is incredible. It's described as a menagerie of dark, macabre antiques and vintage oddities from all over the world, established by Salem newcomer Christopher Cinquemani.
Cinquemani means five hands.
It means five hands, yeah. And it's an intimate little space, and it's one of those places where you're talking to Christopher, but your eye is drawn over there by this incredible thing. For example, we've all read that cautionary horror tale, The Monkey's Paw, about the withered monkey's paw that grants 3 wishes. He's got one.
We've all read that tale.
We've all read that twice.
A vervet monkey paw in an elegant gilded Victorian case. It's incredible. And what else has he got? We'll show you some pictures. I've never heard of this. A dental phantom from the 1930s. It's this incredible head with teeth in it that a young dentist would practice on, the drilling and extraction and such.
Only in Salem.
Yeah, and you need a new nut dish. He's got an elegant Victorian nut dish on a stand where you pull your nuts out of an ashtray. It's either a nut dish or an ashtray made out of a human skull. And if all that's not incredible enough, you look over there and you say, my goodness, is that an early fire extinguisher? No, sir. That is a vintage enema machine with a several gallon capacity and a heavy-duty pump for, big jobs.
Okay, so
why don't we do the show on site there?
We should, right?
So a big welcome to the Five Hands Curiosity Shop, and welcome, Jere.
Thank you,
Jere,
Dan.
welcome
Thank
to
you,
GASworks, where absolutely anything can happen.
So I've heard.
And you're in the hot seat.
Yeah.
So for those of you who don't know, Jere is actually my brother. He's one of 4 brothers that I'm very proud of. But he is not my baby brother, but close to it.
The penultimate son.
The penultimate son. It is an older sister's prerogative, though, when we do have pent-up decades of payback. to embarrass her brother on camera. So welcome, Jere.
Yeah.
I might have to fire back.
Oh,
No,
feel
I'm
free.
just kidding.
I might
I'm
have
just kidding.
Sparks fly on GASworks.
I think.
Sparks and gas mix. Yeah. Hey, you know, it's, I mean, we talked all about your theater, but we are aware that right now you're a singer-songwriter. But Sara told me, actually, that as a young kid, your first ambition, your what I want to be when I grow up, wasn't an actor, was it? It was something a little out of the ordinary.
I'm interested to see what Sara thinks I want it to be.
Oh, come on.
Well, I didn't want to be like, I wanted to be, well, I don't know, this could be a few different
An
things.
undertaker.
Yeah, I did. Well, it was
This is
Al
confession.
Thomas. Al Thomas was the nicest dressed guy in the neighborhood.
Uh-huh.
Looked like he had some money. He was
Yeah.
a nice guy, and everyone looked up to him. And I thought, oh, that's
Wow.
He always
that's
ran the show at
that's
the churches.
Show. Really nice
Very
guy, always
elegant.
in a suit, and
Yeah.
everybody else was going to work with their T-shirt and jeans. And I thought, oh, looks like a pretty good gig. And then I figured out exactly what he had to do to earn his money, and I thought better of it.
Wow. Well, you know, Jerry, before you leave town today, you might want to drop in
Remember
on the
that.
Five Hands Curiosity Shop, 2 North Street, specializing in funerary, apothecary, medical charts, antique occult items, bizarre statement pieces. So, years later, maybe you're still thinking of being a funeral director. You actually went to Boston College majoring in pre-med, right?
I started out a bio major, very brief excursion into biology.
Really? Okay.
Into that type of biology, in the
Okay.
books.
Wow. So you,
But yeah, I very quickly discovered that I did not have the discipline at the time to do that. And it took me a while. I was wound up going to poli-sci for a bit, and then took some time off from school, and then came back and made a trip out to LA and realized I wanted to be an actor. And I went back to BC and finished up my last 2 years there in the acting program, well, in the theater program, theater arts.
So I'm just picturing my mother-in-law. How did that conversation go? Ma, you know how you're looking forward to me, my son, the doctor? Guess again, how'd that conversation go?
I think at the time it was probably a choice between my son the doctor or maybe my son the convict. So I think she was pretty glad. Okay,
She was
acting. If
glad
it's
you
not
had
going to be
a
either one of
focus.
those, I have a focus. So it
No,
was good.
she's always been supportive of
No,
your
she has, yeah.
creative side.
They
yeah.
always have. Even, I remember being a freshman in high school, and Sara and I did a show together. She was a stage manager for,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I'm going to do this. This is after the closing night. I'm telling my parents, this is what I'm going to do. And they're like, well, it's going to be a hard life. I'm going to do it. And they never said no.
Yeah.
They never winked.
Yeah.
At least I
Brought
never saw them winking at
busloads
each
of
other.
people to see you perform.
Yeah, they've been it literally.
Yeah.
They've just been so supportive my whole life with it.
So here's the funny thing is that, I mean, and your parents, I'm sure they did the responsible thing. You said, I'm going to be an actor, and they told you you're going to starve to death. You didn't even have a day off. You graduated from like, you go to grad school at NYU at the
Yeah,
Tisch
yeah,
School,
yeah.
which ain't easy to get into, folks. And Sara told me the day after graduation, you're at Joe Papp's Shakespeare in the Park.
I was very fortunate too. I mean, it's like real estate. It's location, location, location.
Mhm.
When you are in a place like New York, you get the opportunities, I think. And I was very fortunate to have Rosemary Tischler as one of my teachers at NYU in my third year, and she was casting. And so it's about connections and everything else, but I was very fortunate I had to leave dinner, the graduation dinner, to go and audition for Rosemary and the producers. And so I was hired that day for my next show. I started my first show in New York.
Yeah.
So your first gig in, this was Shakespeare in the Park?
Shakespeare in the Park,
What
yeah.
was your first gig?
Oh, I was playing Amiens in, I'm going to blank on the name of it.
I'm blanking too.
I'm blanking. It's,
But my favorite story
As You Like
is
It.
As You Like
As You
It.
Like It.
My favorite
Yeah.
story is hitting that high note with the fly flying in your mouth.
Oh,
You had to swallow
yeah.
it, right?
Yeah, I think that was the key, because I could sing. Coming from a big Irish family, I could sing, and that was probably my leg up to getting the role. It was a small spirit carrier role that happened to have a name, actually, and someone referred to me as Amiens. And thing. But they said, you can play guitar too, so I was playing outdoors and under the spotlights. It was a very beautiful moment, a great opportunity for a young actor, and all of a sudden, I just remember breathing in a mosquito, actually, in the middle of my
You
my
just had
gig.
to swallow.
Yeah,
Well,
just
how-
have to swallow, chew and swallow and keep going.
Out of curiosity, how does a mosquito taste?
Bitter.
Bitter.
Bitter. If you're around a bitter crowd of people, it can be bitter. If you're around sweet people, they tend to be sweet.
Wow. So, yeah, I mean, how often do you get to ask that question? So here we go. You're at Joe Papp's, and then came years of struggle. No, wait a minute. you didn't struggle for years. You went right uptown to Broadway on your first gig was on Broadway right after that, right?
Right after that, it was that show did lead. You know, it was just a great way to be featured, and as a singer and as an actor, and from that I got a meeting with Jere Shea to replace a guy who was in the cast understudying for Guys and Dolls, understudying Peter Gallagher and Sky Masterson in Guys and Dolls.
And you were featured, right?
You went on a couple times.
Yeah, I did. I went on about 4 times. He was looping a film, finishing up some things with a film, and I went on 4 times. And then I was there, and he left after his contract was done, and I covered for Tom Wopat, who was one of my heroes as a kid. He and John Schneider, Dukes of Hazzard. Yeah. So I got to cover for Tom, and he said to me on, I think it was day 1, he goes, "It's great to meet you, and I'm glad you're covering for me, but I'm sorry, I never miss a show." And he was right, he never does. He'd be sick, it'd be, you know, whatever was going on in Tom's life, he was a pretty fun guy. Wow. He never missed. He was late one night, and they threatened him with me going on at that point, but he didn't, you know, I said no problem. He went on and never missed. I covered for him about a year.
Oh, okay. Now, here's something that I've been promising the viewers online and here for weeks. Jerry's going to tell us who some of the biggest jackasses he's ever worked with on Broadway.
Work with or grew up with?
No. We want to know, you know, those Broadway actors you love and you'd be surprised how awful they are. Take it away, Jerry.
Yeah, sure.
You're not going to get that out of him.
I'll tell you, I've been very fortunate. There have been people who in my career as an actor, I got to work with some incredible talents, and some people who had been big for a long time. Some people I look at their careers now and like, you know, it's incredible what's happened to them and what they've made happen in their lives. But I've got no complaints. People have been very good to me.
What are some highlights for you?
Hold on. Jerry, we promised jackasses. You're killing the show. Come on. Well, I guess no
it's
jackasses.
not the first time I've killed a show. Really,
But so you've also done film and you've done television, and so that part of your career, what are some of the things that when you think back that was the highlight for you? What something you enjoyed?
You know, it may sound like I'm pulling chains here, but honestly, it's whenever my family would be there in the audience. I've had wonderful opportunities. Passion was a great chance for me to sort of see what it's like to have your Broadway show and have your 15 minutes of fame. But I remember the performances that you would be there in the audience, and that mom and dad would be there, and friends from home. For me, I knew that I could tell different beats in the show, and the performance that night would resonate with a certain person, and would bring something completely new to it for me. And I would always be able to give more than I had usually been able to give. So just personalized.
And Elaine, I know your wife, Elaine, went when she was still pregnant or right after. How many times did she go to see you in Passion?
Several times, but several times early on. But you know, in previews she'd have to go. But the kids came along right around the opening of the show.
That's true.
So not as many as others. She probably saw Guys and Dolls, I would say, I lost track after 35, probably well over 30, maybe closer to 50, because it was just the two of us at home, you know, and she'd come in, sometimes she'd see something else. She actually started watching from backstage, and we always joke around, she could be one of the hot box chickies, because she knew every move and every role,
Stepping in for this or that person this evening is Elaine.
Exactly, she's definitely the understudy.
Now, here's the funniest thing is that you've also done some TV and film, and a couple of years before I met Sara, one day on a Saturday I'm watching the miniseries A Season in Purgatory, and I look at this young actor I've never seen before. I say, who's that guy? He reminds me of a young Chuck Heston from Ben-Hur. And it turns out to be you.
And that's where I saw you. I remember that day, you watching me.
On the other side of the tube.
That's that guy. In his underwear.
Yeah, sitting around.
With a box of
Cheetos
crackers.
Or whatever. But that was a great performance. But
he played the...
Johnny Fuselli.
He played the bastard son of a mobster.
That's right.
Who got whacked for some reason. Why were you whacked?
I think it was probably that I knew too much, one of those deals.
Oh, yeah.
And there was a Kennedy series where you played another bastard. Or is that the same series?
No, that is...
a lot of people kind of try to tie that in with the Kennedy family somehow.
Okay. So it's not... We're thinking of the same show. Okay.
It was, I would think it was just basically people drew parallels to that.
Drew
the
parallels,
Skakel
but
case
not,
in Greenwich,
but not the same. Okay.
I don't know if it was intended, but
Yeah.
not the focus of
Yeah.
it.
So you struck me as a like I say, a young Heston and Ben-Hur, but folks you got a lot of comparisons to who? So,
Well, early on, I know there was a lot of buzz about young James Caan.
James Caan, yeah.
And but I think recently it's
Santa?
Elf.
Oh, yeah.
Will
yeah.
Ferrell.
Will Ferrell, yeah.
But ironically,
I was close, yeah,
I
Will
always,
Ferrell,
I always
definitely,
get a
definitely.
kick though because the two of them were in the same, both in Elf. James Caan plays his father.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So
and
there
and
is
his
that.
casting, I could be the other, and all of a sudden there's a show with the Step Brothers.
Yeah.
And, John, was it not John McGinley?
John,
you know his name.
yeah.
Yeah, you know, he's hilarious.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I was like, oh, there's my chance
in
to be
Boogie
his
Nights,
brother.
yeah.
But I think Mr. Ferrell has actually destroyed my career. I can never be seen as anything other than his lookalike. Not bad. I get to watch his movies instead of mine.
Yeah. Now, here we are researching you on the internet, and anything I haven't heard around, with the Thanksgiving table, I got to look up on the internet. And so we're hearing, whatever happened to Jere Shea?
Whatever happened to
And
Jere
well, I heard he injured his back, and he's in a wheelchair now. Well, we hear, yeah, he went into insurance. But I guess there's a strange rumor that your mail carrier told you about recently.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So, hey, buzz around the neighborhood.
Yeah.
What is...
Our buddy Joe, the mailman, was talking to my wife, to Elaine, the other day, and he said, geez, I was talking to one of your neighbors, one of the old-timers in town. Now, we've been there 12 years. And he said, I was telling him, you got a movie star. He's very excited about sometimes he'll see the residual checks coming into the house and that sort of thing. And he said, you got a movie star, a movie actor down the street from me. He goes, oh, no. He's a porn star. That guy's a porn star down there. And as I say, that rumor didn't start on the beach, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
No.
He obviously can't see. He doesn't live close enough to me to see me in my pool.
Oh, Jere Shea is not a
Alright.
porn name. It can't
Alright.
be, yeah.
So,
So anyway,
I'm afraid of the direction that this is going to take.
This may get a
This
little
may-
unseemly.
Yeah, unseemly.
hey, all I know is if you really were in the porn business, that Ron Jeremy guy would have to, work a lot harder for roles. You'd have two guys in their 40s doing. So you never stop playing. Now you're playing Boston gigs and venues.
Yeah.
And what are you going to play for us today?
Well, I'm going to do 3 songs for you today, and there are numbers that I've just sort of come up with in the past few years. I'll probably introduce them one at a time to you.
Okay, great. I also want to remind the audience, some of you may recognize Jere. It's not the first time he's played on the North Shore. He was here in Salem a few years ago, and he played on Artist Row. And that particular Sunday, it was in October, we had a pretty big crowd that
was fun.
came through the October traffic from the South Shore to come and hear you play.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a
That
fun
lot of
day.
It was
that
great,
day.
and actually a lot of them were actor friends of mine, and one of them said, wait a minute, your brother-in-law is Jere Shea? Yeah. So anyway, and they came. So
Thank you for coming.
Oh, my
Thank you.
pleasure. My pleasure.
yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
So,
thank you for coming.
Let's cut to it, and
Let's
we're
do
going to do a quick PSA, and then we'll hear Jere play.
Tyrone is a man with a lot on his mind. He has many things to say, but feels that he has no voice. Then, one day, a friend called. The friend told him about Salem Access Television, a place in his community where he could produce and broadcast his own television shows. Tyrone went down to 285 Derby Street in Salem and went inside. Once there, he signed a membership agreement and paid a small annual membership fee. He was then given the orientation and all of the training he required to produce his own television shows by the expert and friendly professional staff. Tyrone got it. He is now ready to be heard.
Look, guys, it's not babysitting when they're your own kids. And what about when it's cold outside? Everything freezes, but the fluid's in your face. And a perfect guy?
SATV. Make your reality television.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jere Shea.
Thanks, Sarah. This song's called Think About Yesterday.
saw your little sister at the picture show. Said you're married to a doctor and you're living in Rome. Said you're hanging out with Clooney, Angelina, and Brad. By the time she finished talking, we were feeling so sad. So we went out for a coffee and the truth came out. Said you got a little baby and you're living at your grandma's house. I've been rolling with the Navy, but I ain't no more. Yeah, I drank the captain's whiskey, barely made it to the shore. Hey, I heard I made you cry. Feels like tomorrow died when I think about yesterday. Hey, I know I made you cry. Feels like tomorrow died, so I think about yesterday. Well, I finally got to Asia, got a new tattoo. Told my brother it's a geisha, but it's really you. Now I see your little baby, she got a nose like mine. You know, if I only knew, you know, I'd never leave you behind. Hey, I heard I made you cry. Feels like tomorrow died when I think about yesterday. Hey, I know I made you cry. Feels like tomorrow died, so I think about yesterday. Now I'm living just to live like I'm living in love. Yeah, you living just to live like you're living in love. Can we live just like we lived when we were living in love, love, love? Will you think about it? Hey, I heard I made you cry. Feels like tomorrow died when I think about yesterday. Hey, I know I made you cry. Feels like tomorrow died, so I think about yesterday. Thank you. Thank you. This one's called You'll Be On Your Way. You won't say that love departed, but you feel like we're back in the place we started. Steal a kiss from the broken-hearted. You'll be on your way, yeah. I'm caught up in your point of view. Always sure but so confused. You know I don't like being used, so you'll be on your way. Who can say it's a bad thing? Who can say it's a wrong thing? Who can say it's a right thing? You'll be on your way, yeah, 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 yeah. I've tried everything I know how to do to break this spell that's come over you. But your heart won't yield and your dreams refuse. So you'll be on your way, yeah, yeah. Who can say it's a bad thing? Who can say it's a wrong thing? Who can say it's a right thing? You'll be on your way, yeah, 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 yeah. Lead me on, and I will follow. Won't you lead me on? We can talk tomorrow. Please just lead me on, 'cause I can't take this sorrow. If you're on your way, you're on your way, yeah, yeah. You're on your way, can say it's a bad thing? Who can say it's a wrong thing? And can you tell me now, how can you tell me it's the right thing? You'll be on your way, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Thank you. Take a little sip of water. This next one I'd like to do requires a capo. It's a country song that I wrote earlier this year, actually late in 2012. After the kids went out to school, my wife and I were thinking about empty nest and how much time flies and how you can let things slip away from you in that process. And it's called Waiting for a Better Day.
There's a castle on a hill just beyond the Irish Sea. The honeymoon we still ain't had, just waiting there for you and me. 'Cause we've been waiting for a better day, waiting for the kids to grow, working 7 days a week to pay all the bills we owe. We're waiting for a better time, waiting for a clearer view, hoping one day there'll be time to think of me and you. I don't want to spend the best years of our lives waiting for a better day. Lord knows I love this life. We worked so hard to make it real. The kids, the house, the dog, the strife, and every kiss that we can steal. 'Cause we've been waiting for a better day, waiting for the kids to grow, working 7 days a week to pay all the bills we owe. We're waiting for a better time, waiting for a clearer view, hoping one day there'll be time to think of me and you. I don't want to spend the best years of our lives waiting for a better day. I know we're saving money when all we need is time. So let's just try that little motel across the county line. 'Cause we're waiting for a better day, waiting for the kids to grow, working 7 days a week to pay all the bills we owe. We're waiting for a better time, waiting for a clearer view, thinking one day there'll be time to think about me and you. I don't want to spend the best years of our lives. We don't want to spend the best years of our lives waiting for a better day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Very, very much.
And thank you for not playing Danny Boy.
My pleasure. I'll get you at Christmas.
Yeah, we guys need Dan hate Danny.
I thought for sure you were going to play a song for your sister.
Oh, I will.
Yeah?
I got a special one saved up for you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. And Amazing Grace, maybe we can slip in
You
there?
can count on that.
Okay.
That's fantastic.
All right.
So, Jerry, you're playing gigs now on all around Massachusetts?
I am, yeah. It's been fun to just get out around small crowds and pub gigs and restaurants and things in Metro West and the Boston area.
Fantastic. And the easiest way to find you, to book you, is
Facebook would
Okay.
be just Jere Shea.
Jere Shea. And he spells it Jere.
That's right.
Four-letter word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's my mother's idea.
Yeah. She was very symmetrical and wanted to block in only 4 letters on the Christmas stocking. She made that decision before Jerry was born. 4
Quite
letters.
the knitter.
Yeah,
That's
she is.
fantastic. And these songs are going to be on an EP, right?
They are, yeah. Actually,
Yeah.
working with friend Barbara Kessler, who's a producer in Hopkinton, and
Great.
I realize we live right around the corner from each other, so we're going to be producing that over the summer.
Fantastic.
Look forward to getting those out.
Fantastic.
Okay. Do you mind playing us out today?
That's my pleasure.
Yeah? Great.
Fantastic.
We'll have one more.
We got one more.
Okay. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks. And thank you, Jerry, for
Thanks,
coming.
Jerry.
You bet, Dan. Thank
Thanks
you.
for coming.
Hey, Sister Sarah, Brother Dan, thanks for having me. I'm going to play it out with a song called Blackwater Blues. I wrote it a couple years ago. Hope you like it. I'm deep in a river, cold black water pull me down. I'm deep in a river, cold black water pull me down. Said she was sitting with her mama, but I heard she was over in town. I burn like a fire, but I'm freezing to my bones. Yeah, I burn like a fire, but I'm freezing to my bones. She got a face like an angel, but I know she weren't alone. I blew like a hurricane, stuck a lover to my bed. Yeah, I blew like a hurricane, 'cause I just know she took another man to my bed. I found them roses on the table, and I paint the whole house red.